Hey everybody, welcome to the SimHanger. My name's Mark. Thank you very much for watching. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my personal views and opinion on the Pimax Crystal VR headset. I've had this headset now for a little over 2 months. I've done a variety of different videos on different aspects for this product, and I now feel ready to share my views with you. I've been involved in VR headsets for many years. I've seen and tried many different headsets and seen many reviews, but rarely have we seen such diversity and variety of opinion and views as we've seen with the Pimax Crystal. And it varies from game-changing and absolutely brilliant all the way to, well, you know what I mean, the other end of the scale. So in this video, I'm going to divide it up into 2 sections. I'm going to get rid of any waffle, deal with the pros and the cons so that you know what it can and can't do. And from that, you'll be able to form your own opinion and any purchasing decision that you may wish to make. To provide a framework or context to my personal views and opinions, it should be noted that my views are limited to a simulation type experience, in this particular case flight simulation and Microsoft Flight Simulator in particular, and also all the tests were done on a 10900K CPU and my GPU is an NVIDIA RTX 4090. One final note, I'd just like to thank Pimax for the opportunity to review this product. I've had it, as I said, for a couple of months. It is a loan unit, shortly be going back to Pimax, but I do appreciate the opportunity they gave me, and they have no influence or bearing on my personal views and opinions or any published content from this channel. So let's start off by having a look at what I consider the Pimax Crystal to do very well. What do I consider the pros of this VR headset? Well, if it has any single outstanding feature, it has to be, of course, the aspheric lenses in this headset. A panel resolution of 2880 by 2880 pixels per eye, which is about 35 pixels per degree, QLED panel, and a mini LED backlit array. That means that it's incredibly bright and clear. It makes it the highest resolution of any consumer-facing VR headset in the market right now, and color reproduction, in my opinion, is excellent indeed. Colors are alive, they're vibrant, and blacks are truly black. The FOV, well, it's not the normal very wide FOV that we've come to associate with Pimax. In my tests, it's around just a little bit over about 103 degrees, which is larger than many, but not as large as the Valve Index, for example. But the one thing that was noticeable was how large the vertical FOV was in comparison to something like the Varjo Aero and so on. So the FOV isn't the largest, but more than good enough in my opinion. It comes with built-in cameras, so it features inside-out tracking, and for static VR, flight simulation, racing simulation, that type of thing, I found that it worked faultlessly. I had no tracking issues with the headset whatsoever. You can get an optional faceplate. It's an additional purchase that'll give you compatibility with lighthouses, base stations, that sort of thing. But for my type of application, totally unnecessary. The built-in tracking is more than good enough. My unit came with the DMAS off-ear sound, which applied to most of the pre-orders, I believe. The sound quality is excellent. I really enjoy the off-ear sound, like the HP reverb, and I experience no latency or anything like that. So if you are thinking about getting the Pimax Crystal, I recommend this sound option. It was superb. Another positive, in my opinion, is the software that comes with the Pimax Crystal. It's Pimax Play. Now, Pimax have a reputation, and deservedly so in my opinion, for their software being a bit clunky and difficult to find your way around. I'm pleased to say that's not the case with Pimax Play. I found it easy to navigate, intuitive to use. You're able to change some of the settings on the fly. So once what was a weakness, I think is now a strength. The other observation I had is that this headset gets quite hot, and it gets hot fairly quickly, but I didn't experience any fogging up or anything of that nature, so the ventilation seems to work very well indeed. Also, from a physical point of view, you'll be aware that I wear glasses, and I've been wearing glasses with the face gasket that's fitted into the headset by default, and I found that it accommodated standard size glasses, no problems at all. Now, this headset has been out in the market for a little while, and admittedly Pimax have been slow on delivering some of the promised features, although they are starting to make some progress right now, and I consider that a positive, such as auto IPD, which again worked very well for me, eye tracking, AMD motherboard compatibility, and so on. Let me now talk about some of the negatives that I found with the Pimax Crystal. First and foremost, and I think obviously, is the sheer size and subsequent weight of this headset. It comes in at a little bit over 1 kg. That's a lot of weight to wear on your head. Admittedly, the headset in itself is fairly well balanced, but it doesn't detract from the fact that this is a heavy headset. Now, that will vary depending on your body size and shape. Different people will have different opinions, but for me, I found this just a little bit too heavy. After about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I needed to take a break. I was getting uncomfortable. It's an important factor and something you need to bear in mind. The other point I want to raise, and I think it's a very important one, is that I've already mentioned that with this headset you get the best display, the greatest clarity of any consumer-facing VR headset. But there's a caveat to that, and that is you need to have the adequate power, the grunt of your GPU and CPU in order to achieve the necessary resolution and the necessary performance levels. In my personal opinion, and I'm happy to be corrected, but you're going to need something in the region of a 3080 Ti or upwards to get anything close to what you want. And ideally it should be a 4080 or 4090 in my opinion. Otherwise you're going to downscale the resolution too much, and you're not going to get the main benefit of the Pimax, which is its amazing display. And if you do that and you downscale too much, well, you probably spent money you didn't need to, and you'd have been better off getting a different and far less expensive headset. The other issue I have is that this button here is the manual IPD adjustment. And it's in such a position that when you adjust the headset, you put the headset on, you inadvertently press that button because of its odd location, and you're changing your IPD. And that was very frustrating for me. Another point that is a little unusual for a PC VR headset is that you do need a battery, and that battery needs to be charged. If it runs down, then your VR session will end. You do get 2 batteries in the pack, but you need to keep them charged, and you do need to have the battery even in PC VR mode. In terms of your battery life, when you're connected via the link box, that does extend your battery life to, in my experience, something in the region of about 4 hours or so longer than my typical VR sessions, but it still runs down, so keep the other battery charged. Turning now to the subject of quality, bearing in mind the price paid, I would describe the quality of the Pimax VR headset as adequate, certainly not excellent, and certainly not outstanding. Having said that, however, I do have a number of quality concerns. The first one I have is that the Velcro that holds the face gasket to the body of the main VR headset, put the face gasket on and off a couple of times, and you'll find that Velcro may well peel away, or that was my experience, which I found disappointing. It comes with two face gaskets, this one which has this fairly prominent forehead support, which I found essential to keep it well balanced on my head and to keep it static. It also comes with another one, which is this one, and I found that I was not able to use the headset with this face gasket. There was just too much movement and too much weight in front of my face. And the other quality concern I have is to do with the charging method. This is the charger. This is an exact replica, except it has a USB-C port, of the battery housing at the back end of the VR headset. And you plug in your USB-C there and then put your battery in to charge it. And I find putting the battery in and out of here, it's just held by small plastic clips. I am concerned in terms of the longevity of it, particularly as it's quite difficult to take the battery out once it's clipped in. In my first look video, I said that the image quality that I experienced in the Pimax crystal was the best I'd ever had in VR. And the colors were vibrant and it brought the whole sim to life. Well, my view hasn't changed one iota in that regard. And if that sort of thing is the most important to you and you're willing to put up with some compromises and you've got the necessary hardware grunt so that you don't have to turn down those settings too far, well, then the Pimax crystal could be a consideration for you. If not, well, you've got the information here to make an informed decision, and I hope that this video has been useful and informative. Stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you all again very soon, and ciao for now.